Neo Planet S.
Trailing 1-2 and representing the People's Republic of China, it is Invictus Gaming Jim. And his opponents in the bottom left-hand corner of Neo Planet S, the Red Zerg from Korea, EG's Jaedong. And Jaedong looked phenomenal on Akalon Waste, Kev. A great hold, taking perfect fights, making impeccable engagements, and ultimately overrunning the hyper two-base aggression of Jim.
Indeed, man. Really, really big game for Jaedong right now, and for many reasons. Of course, there is so much money to win at this tournament. The winner will walk away with $20,000 at the end of the weekend. But that is not everything. Of course, the WCS points are becoming more and more important as we're getting closer to BlizzCon. And you know what's crazy as well is that Jaedong had absolutely 0 WCS points of WCS Season 1. But he is still 11th in the overall ranking of WCS points, and that is really impressive. That shows you how successful Jaedong has been in all those foreign tournaments he's gone to. But if Jaedong goes further in this tournament, then he's going to really settle himself in the top 5 or perhaps top 7, 8. And that's going to, well, not yet, but it's going to look better and better to see Jaedong at BlizzCon, and that would, of course, be that's the ultimate goal for almost everybody.
We all want that. Everybody wants to see Jaedong versus Flash at BlizzCon. That's just a legendary matchup.
Jaedong is a lot closer than Flash, that's for
sure. So Jim mixing it up big time here on Neo Planet S, going with the Gateway opening.
Of course, Neo Planet S can be a really, really good map for some two-base pushes. We know that Jim loves to do those, Max had as well. And I think that Neo Planet S might actually be the best map in the current map pool to execute them. Of course, that also means that Zerg players are very well aware of the threat and will play a little more safe in general than they would do on other maps.
Almost ironically, Neo Planet S, one of the hardest maps for a Protoss player to secure a third against a Zerg, so it makes those two-base pushes even more common. There are just so many attack paths, so many wide angles that Protoss has to defend from. And such a great distance between the 3 possible expansion locations that it gets really tricky.
This is something that Jim always does. He starts building the Zealot because he's a little bit greedy. He doesn't probe scout, but just in case he has to worry about 4 links in his main and he's going to have to micro probes around, he starts the Zealot, but by the time that his Mothership Core can really start, then he can start morphing in his Mothership Core, he cancels the Zealot if there are still no links inside. And obviously if there are links, he will let that Zealot finish, but trademark Jimmy always does it.
Means he can get that Nexus down just ever so slightly faster, saving that 100 minerals.
Yeah, which is a pretty damn big deal in the start of the game. And also when you play like this, man, when you play this greedy, when you don't scout cancel the Zealot as well, I do feel that you want to get your additional tech, your follow-up out as quick as possible, and that often lines up with a gateway/timing attack.
Yes, sir. We can see Warp Gate is already being researched for Jim. Very quick Warp Gate, given that he opened up Gateway before anything else. Jaedong is still doing Jaedong stuff, but this time taking his gas a little bit sooner, probably because it's a Gateway opening, going double gas at 5 minutes instead of 6 minutes. So that'll give him access to the link speed if he needs it, the roaches if that's the way he decides to take it.
Yeah, still a lot later than what a lot of Zergs like to do when they see Gateway expand. Some Zergs get the Extractor immediately, start researching link speed as soon as possible, and Jaedong is like, nah, just take it a little bit later, which it's going to be fine against the big Gateway attacks, but if you would have 1 or 2 Stalkers run across the map immediately, it would be kind of annoying, because slow links obviously not going to kill Stalkers, but man, we got a Stargate going down.
Yeah, that's interesting. Jim tried Stargate once already, and you know it went really well for him. Managed to fool Jaedong into thinking he was taking a third base. Silly Jaedong.
Is Jaedong gonna fall for that again?
maybe the mind game this time is he does take a third base.
Wouldn't be surprising.
We'll have to wait and see. At Stargate's going to finish up. And we'll probably see some Phoenixes once more.
Quick layer for Jaedong, 6 minutes. He starts it up immediately, and he's up to 38 drones right now against 32 probes right now.
He did, yes sir. So he knows what's up.
Sends in the additional Overlord already in the main base as well, perhaps hoping to find 5 additional gateways, so then he knows what is going on, but that's not going to be the case for now. Going to keep a close eye on the pro production, of course, by Jim, because that's going to tell us a lot more about which direction he wants to take this. But he's been spending a lot of chrono boost on other things than his Nexus.
He's still making probes 2 at a time, but he hasn't fully saturated 2 bases yet.
But
very polite sentries.
Why did he use for the node charge?
Because he just really wanted that Overlord dead. Maybe he's afraid of feedback.
That's really weird.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you there, Kev.
See Hallucinated Phoenix and another Hallucinated Phoenix making its way across the map. Robotics facility being warped in. So this time, you know, Ben.
Oh, Jaedong's taking a pretty late third here, Kev.
Yeah, very late. So actually, Jim really doesn't have to go for any kind of 2-base time, because of course 2-base against 2-base, you are fine as Protoss, you know. It doesn't mean that you're automatically going to win, but at least you're not being heavily outmined.
And what is Jaedong up to? Infestation Pit's down, Spire is down, Lings are on their way, no Evo Chambers.
But why?
Maybe Swarm Host Corruptor?
You said he saw the Stargate, so why would he proxy Aspire right now? Swarm Host, huh? On 2-base, that's...
I have no idea, man. What's your guess? There's a third hatch going down.
Your guess is as good as mine, but I don't think it's going to be Swarm Host Corruptor on 2-base. He's definitely going to have to get a better economy for that. A lot of links right now, but there are plenty of sentries over here. Jim has a full wall up. Nothing to worry about.
He's faking the Swarm Host and going. He's probably going to go Mutai.
Save up as
there's
much
still
money as
nothing
possible.
else that he's spent any gas on.
But there's already 5 Phoenix though. Like, that's really good if the Protoss play only makes like 2 or 3 Phoenix, which is just like, hey, I got Phoenix, you shouldn't go Mutalisk, and then the Zerg waits for a very long time, and then suddenly like you get 15 Mutalisk against 3 Phoenix. But there are already 5 Phoenixes out, and it's gonna be hard to 6 Phoenix
he
even
just
in
keeps
production.
Producing, man. He's and these Phoenixes are going to fly in and kill some drones. And
no
I guess
Spore Crawlers either.
This is super frustrating because Jaedong is only on 2 bases. That third's finishing up soon.
Don't lose your Phoenix. I kind of like how this is going for Jim so far, man. He might be able to pick up this drone as well, which would delay that 4th base. Jaedong is indeed definitely saving up for Mutalisk.
Drone.
Against 6 Phoenixes.
Zerglings running around. They're going to spot.
Force
Jim?
field.
What? Jim? How does that happen? Now he force fields his army out. That's a
Photon
little
overcharge.
frustrating.
He has enough money, enough energy actually for a photon overcharge. It's going to be annoying, of course. He loses a little bit of mining time, but should not be the end of the world.
Now here come the mutas. 10 Mutalisks at once, Kevin. So that's a lot of muta to build at one time, but against 6
Phoenix,
Phoenixes,
that's fine. That's really more than fine for Jim. The best thing that could ever happen for Jim right now is that he sends a hallucinated Phoenix across the map and gets a really good scout up and sees one of those mutas hatch. Because Jaedong, like, how long can you really hide 10 Mutalisk around?
Not very long, man. Especially with these Phoenixes heading towards the hatch. Did they see it?
Not yet. He still didn't see anything. But he has more than enough Phoenix to deal with this. I think that Jim is just going to clap in his hands, you know, like the Keen gives. He's going to be like, yeah, he's going Muta.
So the mutas are going to show up. Now, there's nothing back at home, so Jim doesn't know yet. He's definitely going to lose some probes, Kevin. And he might lose a lot of probes as the Phoenixes are still in the 3rd base of Jaedong. Mutas revealed for the first time, and immediately, well, we see a Void Ray being built on that Stargate. So how much damage can Jaedong do before these Phoenixes get back home?
Well, he does a reasonable amount of damage so far, but here are the sentries, here's the Guardian Shield. But he's pretty much going to lose all of these Mutalisks when Photon not cast that. Nice pickoff, but still, he's going to lose so many Mutalisks / all the Mutas.
Phoenixes are going to get chased. Mutas turn around and fire a volley, killing a single Phoenix. Kevin, 19 probes have been killed. Those were very effective Mutas. Is it worth losing them all?
Yeah, but he's going to also lose a lot of drones. That's inevitable. Because he doesn't have too many Spore Crawlers around. More Mutalisk reinforcements right now, but Jim microing pretty well. Takes a little bit of damage on one of his Phoenixes.
Both sides controlling this well. Jaedong is building Corruptors right now, so he's going to continue to commit to this Spire tech. Where are the Queens? Here they come. And they do have some transfusion energy, but not enough to save one of those very unlucky Mutas.
I'm very curious to see how Jim is going to deal with this. Like, I find it personally very annoying to deal with Muta and Corruptors when you only have Phoenixes, but Jim is going to drop his 2nd Stargate right now. I guess as soon as he starts mining from that 5th and 6th simulator, he's going to have enough gas to drop the Fleet Beacon as well. It's going to be a really fun game, Ben, and it's anybody's game right now.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. I love what I'm seeing out of Jaedong. He's making 2 Infestors. And, you know, Phoenix versus Muta Corruptor, honestly, is a lot about execution, but a single fungal will make that fight so one-sided.
And it also forces those Phoenixes at least to stay at home for quite a while, because they cannot just fly in and pick up drones all the time. Jim is going to find this base as well, and he will be able to pick up these 4 drones. Absolutely nothing that Jaedong can do about it, other than perhaps flying into the main base. But Jaedong has to be really careful. He doesn't have the economy to lose more units.
2 Stalkers and some Sentries. Not going to be much of a threat against this army, as Jaedong's going to do some free damage and then run away. Here come the Phoenixes, but it's hard for them to engage with the Corruptors in tow.
Yep, he's going to have to ignore those Corruptors and focus the Mutalisk down, which is kind of tricky, because of course all the units fly around really quick. Jaedong with 1100 minerals, just not very high on gas. The good thing is though for Jaedong, there are no pylons out anywhere on the map, so he doesn't really have to worry about annoying Zealot harass. All that he has to worry about is these Phoenixes flying around.
There's that Phoenix range upgrade. anion pulse crystals, as well as
he's
Phoenix
going
air
to lose
weapons.
a lot of drones over here. He's up to 81 drones though, so Jaedong is in a position where he can afford to lose a few drones. At the same time, he's going to try to be annoying over here as well. No photon overcharge. Mothership core is going to fall once more.
And once again, Corruptors are going to have free reign over there on this Colossus. He's just going to run to the corner and die. It's a very sad day to be that guy. Jaedong's trading drones for Colossi, and I think that's a good trade every time.
And above all, man, Jaedong is taking the entire map, and that's also really good. He's going to end up losing most of these Corruptors, I do think. Oh, he tried to catch those Phoenixes.
Got 2 of them.
Yeah, that's something. But now also Jim is aware of that threat, so that's very good. Okay, this pylon is actually a very useful pylon for Jim. Something I mentioned before.
He's so fat and slow. I find that funny.
I missed him.
Infestor's trying to fungal and catch these Phoenixes, but I think Jim's... no, man, that's a huge catch! A huge catch, and Jaedong's going to get 2 Phoenixes for free. The rest of the Infestor's a little bit late to the party.
Jim is playing with fire, man. He's still just flying around. He is killing a lot of Mutalisks over here, though. He's doing this pretty well. Also losing a couple of Phoenixes, but I guess he has the money to do so. He doesn't have that much gas, though. Eventually, Jim really needs a 4th base. Otherwise, he's just not going to be able to keep up, no matter how much economic damage he does.
Zealots in the bottom right being really frustrating. Being warped in off his warp prism. This hatchery might end up going down. Mutas are trying to get there, but the Phoenixes are sort of between the Mutas and that 3rd.
I think Jaedong's going to lose this hatchet, but then he's still 1 base off. Even if he ends up losing this base, he is still 1 base off, and he still has way more. Well, he doesn't have too many more.
He's got a lot of drones, enough to saturate those bases. This one might get saved, though. Mutas do show up at the last second. 1 more swing,
really
and the hatch goes down.
Really well done by Jim, because I was worried for him that he didn't have any pylons out on the map, but of course he had that robotics facility, and he didn't really need it on that moment, so he just produced a warp prism. Once more, just flying over creep. This is so risky. Imagine if he flies into Infestors.
Yeah, a couple burrowed Infestors just pop up, and then...
Jim is not afraid, man.
And the fungal drones are going to all get picked off at this base, and at the same time, Jaedong being very frustrating, canceling the 4th of Jim. Great creep spread, by the way, for Jaedong. A lot of Zerg players will overlook creep spread when they're playing Muta, just because it's easy to forget when you have the fast mobility of Mutas and Speedlings, but Jaedong has not done that, and because of it, he's got such great map vision.
The more I look at it, the more that I think that this pickoff in the right bottom side of the map was so massive that really slows Jaedong down for so long, and it's also going to give Jim the time that he really needs to get a stronger army out. It's not just the Phoenixes anymore, it's a couple of Stalkers, it's still those Sentries, guarding his shield, extremely important against Corruptors and Mutalisks. Once more, Jaedong is going to force a cancel immediately on this 4th base.
One of the reasons why Neoplanet is so hard to play for Protoss, because anytime the army is in the top of the map, Zerg can easily be at the bottom of the map. So
sing songs, you know. You spin me right.
It was actually written about this map. Once again, 4th base is going to go down. And by go down, I mean go up. But
these drones are definitely going to... Oh, there are not too many drones. This guy's like, I never got the memo. Memo that I'm supposed to leave.
I wanted to be a spore crawler.
He would have been safe. 23 Mutalisks is pretty scary, but not when there are 16 Phoenixes out on the map. There are no more Infestors out. The only thing that's stopping Jim from moving across the map right now is because he's so worried about being forced into a base trade scenario.
And tons of pros being killed at that 3rd base. Zerglings attacking at the 4th base. The Phoenixes are on top of the Mutas, though, and this is bad news for Jaedong. Probably not a fight he wants to take. He will run back to his Corruptors, and they'll buy him time to get away with the majority of his Mutas.
Well, that's not enough Corruptors. I mean, Corruptors are really good against Phoenixes, but 5 Corruptors against 12 Phoenixes is not a fight you want to take. Jim is going to win this little air battle as well, and he is almost even in supply, man. And how is Jaedong going to deal with his army?
I don't know how he's going to fight that army. Spine Crawlers are okay, but not really against Colossi. Infestors aren't going to contribute much to that fight either. Jim also securing his 4th base behind this. Jaedong's in some trouble.
He has to be careful with those Phoenixes, though. 2 Fungus could perhaps still turn this around. There's going to be a lot of Mutalisks. There are 30 of them. Here we go. So many Phoenixes.
The moment of truth. The fungal goes out, but it does catch a couple of those Phoenixes. But is it enough? The Mutas taking so much damage so quickly, and they're forced to disengage. And I think Jaedong is in a world of trouble, Kev. He's got 21 Mutas left, but that's all he has on the map. Whereas Jaedong's got the Phoenixes, the Stalkers, the Colossi, the Immortals, and 9 Zealots will deal with any number of Zerglings.
119 army supply against 90 right now. Jaedong is going to try to make a final hold over here.
But it's not gonna work, Kevin. The Mutas taking so much damage from the Phoenixes. The Colossi cleaning up everything on the ground. Stalker reinforcements are going to come in, and that's probably going to be the nail in the coffin. The last of the Mutas will fall. and Corruptors are not going to be able to kill those Stalkers. Jim goes up to 150 supply against Jaedong's 110.
Jaedong still trying to reinforce though, and there are a lot of Phoenixes out on the map. They're just not here. There are still 6 Phoenixes. I'm not sure where they are, but even these Stalkers, they do have reasonable upgrades, +2 already, so they're going to be able to deal with Mutalisk as well. Zerglings might be a small threat, but there's just no larva anymore.
Yep, no more larva and not enough units as Jim is in a great position. Zealots in the bottom right taking care of that expansion. Stalkers do get surrounded, but they're just going to focus down whatever they can. Immortal's doing a great job of picking off
those
drones.
links actually being really useful for Jaedong right now. He's going to be able to pick off most of these Stalkers.
Oh no, Jim overextending. He doesn't have blink, so he's not able to get out of there. He's going to lose those Stalkers. That's painful. He is still up about 40 supply.
Above all, he still has those Phoenixes as well, and as you mentioned, man, these Zealots in the right bottom side of the map once more playing a crucial role. Right now, the only thing he has to worry about is a lot of these. There are not too many.
This one
links.
Zealot has 16 kills. He was a master, but now he's dead.
Oh.
Bring me back as an Immortal.
A couple of Stalkers, a little bit of a Protoss hit squad, not the type of hit squad you see every day, just like randomly. And 22 minutes in the map, 22 minutes into the game, we see a couple of Stalkers and 2 Zealots.
Oh man, I think Jim thought he had it won, which is why he just was A-moving into the natural. Jaedong's trying to reestablish some semblance of an army. Ling's countering into the 4th base of Jim, and they're going to do a little bit of damage, and Phoenix is forced to use their energy on those.
Okay, he is going to be able to pick up this hatchery as well. Nice pickup, but it wasn't for free. Of course, he's going to slow Jaedong down even more. How much money is Jaedong earning? Well, he still has a few minerals over here, but it's basically one mining base right now.
Yeah, it's one mining base and fewer harvesters than the Protoss player has. I feel like Jim's just in such command. Jaedong's sticking around for as long as he can, but he realizes he has to realize he's in some trouble. There's another good fungal catching a lot of these Phoenixes, but not all of these Phoenixes in that second fungal whiffs.
Them jukes. He's juking the fungals.
There it is.
GG.